Growing vegetables in containers is possible, but there are some that grow easily and produce heavily in containers. For your help, we're adding 12 best and most productive vegetables to grow in pots. Kale is a fast-growing vegetable that will grow well in containers. Choose a spacious pot with plenty of space for the roots to grow and fill with multi-purpose compost. Sprinkle the seeds on the surface and cover with a fine layer of compost. Keep them watered and be sure to enjoy your kale leaves. Tomatoes are happiest in big containers and will need staking or a tomato cage. Keep in mind the larger the tomato variety, the bigger the pot it will require. Small cherry tomatoes will not require the same amount of room and soil as a large tied tomato. Tomatoes do not like the cold, so do not put them out too early. Make sure you harden off or gradually acclimate seedlings to outside living before you plant them. The leaves are toxic if ingested by pets. Peas prefer moderate conditions. They are a perfect crop for container gardening and don't require a large pot. They grow quickly without attention. You can even grow peas on a balcony. Choose a dwarf or bushier type varieties and do regular and frequent watering as peas prefer slightly moist soil. Keep the plants in a spot that receives full sun. Garlic is easily grown in containers as long as the soil drains well. Other things to consider are evaporation rate and heat conductivity. The proper soil medium is important for garlic planting in pots. It can't retain too much moisture, nor be too dry, and should have plenty of organic nutrients available for the bulbs. A good mix of peat, perlite, or vermiculite, and potting mix or compost with a little bit of builder's sand will give you the drainage, moisture retention, and nutrients necessary for growing garlic in containers. Carrots grow best in cool weather. They need regular watering and moist soil. Otherwise, the roots dry out and crack. Growing this plant in containers is easy, and it doesn't take much space as well. Spinach is one of the best vegetables for containers. It grows well in partial shade and any kind of space. Growing spinach in containers is easy too. You can even grow it indoors on a windowsill. For growing spinach in pots, choose a container that is at least 6 to 8 inches deep. You don't need a very deep pot, rather use a wide one. Eggplant is one of those great vegetables that also works as an ornamental. Some eggplant varieties can get dense and heavy and would not be suitable to be grown in containers. Look at compact cultivars, which are beautiful and tasty. Large containers are needed to support the roots of this plant and its bush-like growth. If you are getting ceramic pots, consider getting glazed pots, which retain water longer. Potatoes are also easily grown in containers. Freshly picked potatoes taste entirely different than the potatoes you buy in a grocery store. They have higher water content and a nice earthy flavor. Growing potatoes in containers requires a lot of soil and water, but is worth the resources and effort. Containers also add an extra level of protection against fungus or blight, which spreads easier among in-ground plants. Beetroot are easily grown in containers indoors or outdoors. They require deeper pots that will accommodate the tubers. Spring onions can be grown in containers or pots on the windowsill. Just add compost to within about 3 centimeters from the top of the container before lightly scattering seed over the surface and covering with 1.5 centimeter of compost. You may also plant splits from older spring onion plants, which is a faster method. Water sparingly to keep the soil moist, and you'll soon have a tasty crop to enjoy. Coriander can also be grown successfully in pots or trays filled with a good multi-purpose compost. Coriander plants have deep tap roots, so pots need to be at least 25 centimeters deep. Scatter seeds on the surface of the compost and cover, watering well. In a pot of 25 centimeters diameter, you can sow approximately 5 seeds per pot. Peppers and chilies are super productive and excellent candidates for growing in containers. They look great in pots and need a sunny and warm place to thrive. If you keep the pot in a sunny spot and provide right soil and fertilize the plant time to time, it will fruit heavily. A large pot that is at least 12 inches deep is optimum.